Right, hello. What I've got today is a selection of plants. I'm starting the hardening off process. It's May 13th, evening time, clouded over a bit, so I've got 5 minutes. I'll do a quick video. We've got a couple of white bird of paradise, a couple of canna. These are canna indica. You see it's quite a big leaf already. Some red bananas, ginger, and a green Haniba banana. These have been in the greenhouse all winter, other than two of these red bananas which have been dried stored. The one in the middle was a bit smaller, so I kept that in the pot going over winter. So as you can see with the reds, the growth now, there's no difference from keeping it going over winter to dry storing up, because they grow so quick once they get going. So you're not really gaining anything other than wasting a lot of space. Obviously, like I say, this one is a bit too small to dry store, where the other two have got chunkier trunks on them. So dry storing when it comes to them is definitely the way. So this one next year, like I said, was in a greenhouse, but I'll dry store that again. So up till last week we were getting frosts on a regular occasion. This week the nighttime temperatures have been between 7, 8, 9 degrees. So I started by getting these plants out during the day for a couple of days to get them used to sort of wind, airflow, pure sunshine rather than filtered through the greenhouse. And then last night I left them out. It was lows of 7. So last night was the first night they stayed out. And I'll leave them out now until, well, I think future forecasts for the next few days is sort of 8 or 7 or 8 degrees. So they'll stay out until I see a further forecast, or if it drops below 6, then I'll probably put them back in the greenhouse. But like I say, if I see a long-term forecast and there is no chance of it dropping below 6 or 7, then I'll probably plant them out in the next week or so. So yeah, it's have a bit of a breakdown on the plants. So these white bird of paradise I grew from seed 4 years ago, and I'm gonna guess they're about 3.5 foot, 3 to 3.5 foot, these ones. They've stayed over winter stayed in a greenhouse over winter for the last couple of years, but I think the first year I had them, because they were quite small, they stayed in the house. This canna indica, I think I got this 2 years ago as one plant. I think I got it at the end of the season reduced, and last year I cut it into 2 chunks, and then this year there's 2 pots here, you can see decent size, and I've got 3 other pots full as well, so that seems to multiply pretty quick. So yeah, that's like I say, good big leafed canna. Tend to get a bit of a red rim on the leaves, a little bit of insect damage in the greenhouse, but not too bad. I did cut them down. You can see this is the old growth, so I cut it all back, and this is what's happened in the last month since it's warmed up. So these red bananas were dried, stored. I just put them in a bag, obviously cut the roots off, cut the leaves off, dried them out for about a week outside under shelter so they had the wind, and let it all drain out, dry out thoroughly. Chucked them in a bag. They stayed in the conservatory in the bag all winter, and I'm saying that probably got down to 3 or 4 degrees in there, no problem whatsoever. Like I say, a month ago, chucked them in a very small pot, very minimal soil, kept on the dry side. As soon as they started growing, you start watering them. So like I say, from dry storing to keeping them going over winter, you're not gaining anything, because look at the size of that already. They grow so quick. And this is a ginger, which I just chucked in a small plant last year I brought, and chucked in a greenhouse, and stayed like that all winter. No real dieback, couple of sort of brown tips on the leaves, but they stayed like that, and that's obviously started to go back in growth. So that's a good head start with that. I have got some in the ground as well, which isn't even making an appearance yet. That's still got to heat up a bit for that to start growing. I did chuck a couple of begonias in the pot as well, which only just started coming into growth for the last couple of weeks, and you can see they've got decent size already. So yeah, that's so I thought I'd get them out and get them hardened off as well. And yeah, with this green, like I say, I grew this from seed 2 years ago. Even in the first year that got to a decent size. I say the first year, maybe that's the size of the red banana in the middle there. And again, it's looking a bit rough, so I sort of kept it pretty dry over winter. But yeah, since it's warmed up, I'll give it a bit of water, and kicked out one big new leaf and another leaf coming out there. So yeah, all pretty good. So like I say, just wait. It's not really a time of year you do it, it's a temperature thing. So as soon as you get rid of them frost and you get sort of above 5 degrees at night, then maybe start pushing it and leaving them out. I mean, during the day we've had temperatures of between 16 and 18, sort of sunny stroke cloud. So it's a good time to get things out. I didn't want sort of a full blazing sun all day every day, because you could sort of burn the leaves. But bit of cloud, bit of sun, bit of wind, get them used to it. And like I say, this will be the second night I've left them out tonight, and I'll keep an eye on them if they're, you know, as long as they don't totally shut down and stop growing, then I'll leave them out. And then hopefully in a week or so I'll actually put them in the ground. So that's the way I do it. Alright, thanks for watching.